Okay. So this sign up issue is related to some mischievous behavior of students in the chat or joining in the sessions. They are joining in duplicate sessions. So to avoid these collisions, Blackbucks team has made it a methodical way using their email address. They have to sign up and they have to log in. Yeah, it will take more than 2 to 3 clicks. That's it. Next. Then you click with sign in with Google. Okay. So we'll proceed further. So as a part of embedded systems and IoT, we are in learning mode of new board, that is Raspberry Pi 5. So in the previous sessions, we have learnt about Raspberry Pi hardware and how to boot Raspberry Pi OS and how to update Raspberry Pi and how to connect remotely Raspberry Pi device using Secure Shell Connect SSH. Is this clear, everyone? My audio and presentation screen is up. Someone will please confirm. Yes. Thank you, guys. So next thing is to learn the software part of Raspberry Pi. We are using the programming language called Python. Okay. So Balaji, thank you. So we will go into the session called Introduction to Python. This is software part of Raspberry Pi. Next, outline. What we are going to cover in this Python session. What is about Python? History of Python. Python features. Industry applications of Python. Linux commands. Okay. How to run Python code. And what are the data types in Python. This is one session. And in the next session, we have in detail description about Python programming. So the people or the students who are aware about MATLAB, Java, slightly, Python is very easy. Python is interpreter-based programming language. Whereas C is compiler-based programming language. So using this Python, as Raspberry Pi is a Linux-based operating system, we have Linux shell scripting. One of the shell scripting from Linux can be used using Python. The basic shell scripting in the Linux is bash. Okay. The basic shell scripting in Linux. One is bash shell. Second one is C shell. Third one is TCL, tool command language. Next, fourth one is Python. Fifth one is Perl. So there are other scripting languages also. These are the most famous Linux shell scripting languages. Bash shell, C shell, TCL, tool command language, Python, Perl. Okay. So as we are embedded engineers, we should have a knowledge or just the understanding knowledge and slightly programmable knowledge about what we are going to do the task using these programming concepts. Okay. There are very deep subjects and deep level analysis of advanced subjects for each and every course. Okay. So to go into the deep level advanced course, we need to come up with the basic part. Once the basic part is clear, combining all these basic concepts, one or two together, they will become as advanced concepts. Using Python, can you develop a website? Someone please comment. Using Python programming language, can we develop a website? I will share Pawan, Srikanth, Sriram, Chaitanya. Yeah. Very few people, of course, Nagatrini. Yes. So using Python, we can design a website based on the HTML and web-based packages. Those packages are written in the form of Java or other Python libraries. So in previous, for a development of web page, we used to use HTML, XML, CSS, Java, and little advanced version of PHP. And nowadays, they are using Python. So Python is very flexible and they can build frameworks also. And using the templates, they can build their website. So this is one of the application of Python. So the outline of the course is we will learn about Python, history of Python, how it got started, Python features, and in industry, how we are going to apply this Python programming language. As a Python programming language is a shell script based programming language, we need to understand Linux commands. And if you are a Linux engineer, or if you are an embedded engineer, or if you are an IoT engineer, you should know how to write Python scripts. And in Python scripts, the basic concept is data types. Okay. About Python. Python is a high-level, interpreted, interactive, and object-oriented scripting language. As I have told you, Python is a Linux-based shell scripting programming language. High level. High level means on the top level, if we define some function, okay, that function is instantiated or called based on the libraries. That libraries are internally designed and developed in the Python internally. So that's why it is called high level. And interpreter based. Interpreter means, what is the meaning of interpreter? Someone please comment. Add your text message. What is interpreter? So compiler is different and interpreter is different. C programming uses compiler, Java programming uses interpreter. Translating slightly correct. Compiler the program. Raja, I am telling you C program is a compiler based programming language and Python is a interpreter based programming language. What is interpreter? Yeah, everything is line by line execution. Convert one language to another. Every programming language identifies mistakes. We can. Vasu, both object oriented and programming oriented. So object oriented is nothing but it is related to interpreter, and if it is programming oriented, it is C programming. These are the main differences. So interpreter is nothing but already everyone has answered correctly. The interpreter is similar like a compiler, but it will execute all the codes line by line with the dependencies of libraries, with the dependencies of packages. Okay. Translating high level instructions to intermediate level instructions. So if you are writing some high level instruction, okay, something like command, that computer or the interpreter doesn't understand, and that command will be decoded and made understandable by the interpreter, and it will convert it to the CPU executable code. This is how interpreter works. Interactive means it is human readable interactive. And object oriented. Object oriented means we have subjects and objects. Subjective is nothing but it is methodical way. Objective means it is particle based. Python was designed to be a highly readable, which use English keywords frequently, whereas other languages use punctuation. Okay, and it has syntactical constructs than other languages. So the main syntactical or constructs Python follows is indentation. Okay, indentation is nothing but if you start code, this is your code lines, and all the code lines should be aligned. If you are assigning some subblocks, that subblocks should be assigned as per the indentation. All the subblocks should be in one alignment. All the main blocks should be in one alignment, and all if level blocks should be in one alignment. This is called indentation. If the indentation is missing, so it will execute all the lines in sequence, and the interpreter doesn't understand what output it has to give. Clear? Yeah. Python programming language is open source. Open source means which is available for free in the internet. Downloading and install Python is free and easy. Source code is easy, accessible. Free doesn't mean unsupported. Online Python community is huge. That means, so if we buy some commercial softwares, okay, suppose in RTOS, we have discussed about FreeRTOS and VxWorks. So VxWorks is a commercial real-time operating systems, and FreeRTOS is a open source. So to get any support related to VxWorks, we have to have a license from VxWorks. But whereas from FreeRTOS, we need any support, we have online open forums. There we can post our question and someone will reply some point of time. Okay. This is how the open source will work. It's portable. Python runs virtually every minor platform used today. That means from the high level compute machines like servers or HPC clusters, whatever it might be, from the top level, high level simulations in compiler in a HPC, high performance computes, to the low level Raspberry Pi model boards or any embedded system boards, Python is able to run. That means it is portable. It just needs to have a compatibility Python interpreter installed. So if any Linux based board is there, BeagleBone Black, Raspberry Pi, ST Micro, okay, whatever the board might be. If that board is running with Linux, easily we can install Python using Linux commands. Then it is called as portable. If we are using any Windows machine, we have cross-platform based Python tools. That is Python IDE. I'll show you how to install Python IDE also. It's powerful. That means dynamic typing, built-in types and tools, library utilities, automatic memory management. Dynamic typing. Dynamic typing means if you are typing some lines of codes, okay. So I have typed if then it has to open and close the braces and it has to give some condition here. So this kind of dynamic constructs has to come automatically if you are choosing the programming in IDE. Built-in tools and types. So it has built-in tools. What are the tools? Like indentation, line alignments, word alignments, and data upload or data copy. These kinds of tools are also available in Python. Library utilities. Library utilities related to Python.py, which are similar like if you want to do some image processing. So we want to upload matplotlib. If you want to do some trigonometry functions, I have to apply some trigonometry library. Automatic memory management. Automatic memory management means if we execute some instructions, it has to assign the code memory, it has to assign the data memory, it has to assign the instructions memory, and it has to copy all the address locations. So this Python interpreter or Python IDE will take care. Please give me a minute. I'm getting an emergency call. So everyone understood how we are using Python as open source and understanding about the portability and what are the powerful features of Python. Is everyone clear with this? Yes, sir. Sunil, thank you. You are the only one person listening to the session, I think. Next, history of Python. Python was developed by Leo van Rossum in the late 80s and early 90s at the National Research Institute for Mathematics and Computer Science in Netherlands. Okay, so this person, late 18s means it is just switching to 1990s. Okay, in the Research Institute of Mathematics and Computer Science of Netherlands, these scientists has developed Python programming language. Python is derived from many other languages including ABC, Modula 3, C, C++, Algo 68, Smalltalk, Unix shell, and other shell scripting languages. So only it is called as interpreter-based programming language. So to develop Python programming language, okay, all these languages supported for the development of Python. Is this clear? History. We need to understand why it has come from, where it has come from. Thank you. Python features. Python is easy to learn. Python has relatively few keywords, simple structures, and clear defined syntax. This allows the students to pick up the language in a relatively short period of time. Yes, as a short training course, people can learn Python. So as a hobby, whenever you get time, you install Python IDE, okay, and just run some simple codes of Python and understand. If you are learning only one Python programming language, you will get many jobs in software, electronics, anywhere, even in VLSI Linux industry also. That is how the powerful of Python is. There are many other framework tools in TCS, Wipro, Infosys, Tech Mahindra, all these companies, they will be using too many frameworks as a design data management tools for managing our designs, managing our employees. All these softwares are built on Python programming. Apart from Python, there are other sub-programming languages also. They will keep on adding those concepts. So, Bhavani, even I am the host of the class. If someone wants to join the class, I can allow them. If they are very interested in joining the class. Bhavani, did you get it? Okay, sir. So I am the host of the session. Okay. So Blackbucks, please take care of this. Someone is not feeling like to or unable to sign up or join. So help them to connect to the session. Next is Python features. Easy to learn. Easy to learn means the syntax or the programming constructs is easy. Easy to read. So whatever the definitions or whatever the keywords, whatever the data types that we see in Python are easy to read for a human being. Easy to maintain. So if you want to run a Java code, if you want to run a real-time operating system code, what we need to do? We need to load the real-time operating system onto the board. Onto that OS, we have to write the programming. And that programming should be tested in all circumstances. This is how we do in our customers. But whereas Python, it is easy to maintain. Just if we run the code in the interpreter or in Python IDE in my laptop and just dump that code, it has to work. It will work definitely on the other part of platform also. That easy it is maintaining. Clear this Python features? Next, a broad standard library. One of Python's greatest strengths is the bulk of library is very portable and cross-platform compatible on Unix, Windows, and macOS. So as we have known, Python is interpreter language. When we want to write a mathematical codes in Python for computation like trigonometry or computational like MATLAB code or image processing or signal processing. So there are many libraries which are compatible for cross-platform. Cross-platform means Python is an interpreter-based programming language where we can install the packages of Python. Sorry for the interrupt. So there is another standard feature. So it has a broad standard libraries. So if you want MATLAB libraries, if you want Java libraries, if you want C libraries, and if you want image processing libraries, signal processing libraries, or electrical characteristics libraries, whatever the library it might be. Those all libraries we can import or install in the Python IDE or in the Linux platform or in the Mac OS. And we can do the computation. Next is interactive mode. Interactive mode means when we are writing a tool, when we are writing the code, okay, so the syntax of the code should appear on its own on the screen. Okay, so this we can observe when we are writing with a notepad and notepad++. So notepad doesn't have any kind of coding features, but whereas notepad++ has all kinds of coding features. This is how the interactive mode works. As we have told, Python can run a wide variety of hardware platforms and has the same interface. I can run my Python code in laptop and I can run this or download this code in my Raspberry Pi and I can run there. I can get the hardware output. But whereas if we run a C code in my laptop, okay, or in Linux, will it work on my Arduino board? Someone please comment. I have written my C code, okay, on Windows compiler and Linux GCC compiler. And if I dump that code into my Arduino microcontroller, will it work or not? No, good, KD. Why? Because whatever the code we are writing in embedded C, okay, those embedded C code is meant for ports, pins, and hardware description. So only C code is compiler based code and it is not portable for all the platforms. For a few of the platforms, it is portable, not for all of the platforms. When we compare for the portability of C, okay, if we run the C code in Windows compiler and if we run the C code in Linux GCC compiler, the output is same. But if we run the same code in Arduino board or any ARM board, okay, that will not give the portability or it will not run the code. Good, Aditya and KDK. Who is KDK? What is the name of KDK? Interactive mode means, so if you are writing some code, okay, you are writing statement, so it has to open and close the braces. And if you are typing some instruction here, it has to give equal to, greater than, less than. Next, else. If it is else, then it will ask to change the new line. And if it is else if, it will give another else if. And it will give another else if. And if you put a semicolon, it will end there. So this is how the editor is interactive. Did you get Karimullah? Did you understand what is meant by interactive? Yes, I can. Next is databases. So mostly, as we hear the concept of database, the famous database is Microsoft SQL. The other one is Oracle. And the latest and the foremost, they are building on SAP HANA database. And using Python, we can interface all these commercial databases to any kind of platform. We have a Microsoft Excel code. Okay, if we write import Excel code to Oracle database, that will import the tables to my Oracle database. This is how Python provides interfaces. Import CSV file to MySQL database. That will import the CSV file to my MySQL database. This is interface for Python using database. Clear, everyone? Should we proceed further? If you have any questions, please post. Dear students, you are understanding or not? If you are not understanding, please stop me and ask a question. If you are understanding, if you want to proceed further, reply. We will proceed. Yes or no? Proceed, sir. Sunil, thank you. Sunil is the only right person who is replying very quickly. Sunil Vinay. Chaitanya, understanding, sir. Next is Raviteja, correct. Extendable. Extendable means you can add low-level modules to the Python interpreter. These modules enable programmers to add to or customize these tools to be more efficient. So what I told, extendable. Extendable means in Python programming language, we can add other tools. If we want to add the tools like MATLAB, example, okay, we can directly get the MATLAB interface or MATLAB GUI code interface or Simulink. We can draw the circuit, Simulink circuit of controllers. Or if we have X circuit is nothing but it is a circuit diagram tool. That also we can export and import. So this is how we have extendable features. Next is GUI-based programming. Python supports GUI applications. GUI applications means, so Zoom has done a programming. Okay, when I click on chat, it has to open this wizard. So this is how GUI works. This kind of features you can write using Python. There are some packages like Ticketer or WinWizard. These kind of packages libraries we need to add to our program, and we need to call the functions. So when I click on annotate, this annotation toolbar is appearing and disappearing. This is all the features of GUI programming. Next is scalable. Python provides a better structure and support for large programs than shell script. So if you are using a shell scripting like C shell or bash shell, okay, they are very limited to the shell only. If we want to go for Python, okay, we have large interpretations or merging points or extendabilities using Python programming. Clear everyone so far? These all are the features of Python programming. Should we proceed further? Sunil, Raviteja, Chaitanya. Can I? Yes, IIDT, yes. Okay. Next is industry applications. So as I've told you, industry applications, there are many web hosting companies like GoDaddy, Bluehost, and CentOS, CentiLinux, ArcLinux. These all are web hosting companies, big web hosting companies worldwide. So all those we will be using Python programming. Whichever the programming, they have the templates. If you can choose, if you know PHP, you can choose PHP template. If you know Python, you can choose Python template and develop your web programming code. These all are industrial applications. Next is ad hoc programming, like scripting. Scripting means, so I have a CAN protocol. CAN is nothing but computer aided protocol. Okay, so that protocol has many interfaces. So I want to get some module functionality. So what I'll do, I'll write a Python script to get this module functionality. What we do in a Word or Excel file, we do control F. But whereas in a large programming codes or scripts, what we need to do, we need to write another script to fetch the module or code block. That is ad hoc programming. Next is steering scientific applications. So as I have told you, steering scientific applications like biomedical, MATLAB, astronomy, okay, mathematical computation, analysis, statistics. All these can be done using Python. So the world with Python is upcoming with AI and ML. You know how vast AI and ML are going in nature. So that is steering of scientific applications. Extension language. So Python can be extended to any other language for the interface. We can connect C programming, we connect Java programming, we can connect database, all these things. Next is QA applications. As I have told you, okay, if I want to code Zoom in Python, okay, I have a Zoom link, which is web programming link, HTTP link. That HTTP link, when I click on it, it has to open a GUI template for Zoom, which has to open the tools, chat, participants, share screen, audio, video, okay, file sharing, and all these options. This is how the geo application actually would be developed using Python. Next is education. So education is nothing but training. So we want to learn Python as a course. Clear so far, everyone? How Python is used in industries? Chaitanya, Raviteja, Aditya. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Vinay. Thank you. Vinay. Haridullah. Sir, ad hoc. So ad hoc is nothing but whenever Python program is running as a scripting language, okay, we can incorporate other scripting languages, other programming languages, other compiler-based programming languages in Python. Clear? Karimullah. I am writing a code. Okay. This is line 0 to line 100. But in this middle, I have a small module. This code is written in C language. This is how ad hoc programming supports. Next, who is using it? Mainly in industries. Google, NASA, Industrial Light and Magic, Yahoo Mail, Real Networks, Red Hat Linux. So Red Hat Linux is mostly using Python for the development of DevOps. Okay, this is software concept. Hope it is clear. What all the industries or what all the companies Python is mainly using. Yes. Next is Linux and its commands. So Linux is an operating system and Unix is the method or a instruction given to the Linux operating system. So whereas in Windows, we have all the GUI based options. Whenever we click this, there is some command executing in the background of OS. That we can see directly straightforward in the Linux operating system. Okay. The command tells operating system to perform set of operations. In Linux or Unix, whenever you need help with a command, type man followed by the command name. Okay. So here is my Linux environment example. Okay. If I, what is my command? ls. ls means hope the font is visible. Yes, exactly. Yeah. ls is nothing but list, which will list all the files and folders of my Linux environment. And man ls. Man is nothing but manual page. And it is end of the page it is giving. If you keep on entering, it will keep on the entering, reading the manual page. If you do Q, it will click. So wherever you go in industry, most of the platforms run on Linux. Almost 80 to 90%. Very 10% as a user friendly, they will use Windows. Like desktops, like end user laptops, or any meeting applications. Apart from that, development, everything will go on Linux. LS is list of files and folders in the current working directory. Man will give you the manual page of command. Clear so far? To be proceed, next is CD. CD is nothing but change directory. I'll show you. LS will give you the list. If I want to go to the desktop folder, CD, desktop, CD dot dot means it will come back to its original position, to the previous state. If I want to go to the downloads folder, CD downloads. If I want to go back to the desktop folder, I need to do the absolute path. CD dot dot back to one folder, and I need to give desktop. If I am putting PWD, it will give the current working directory. To open a file, okay, so there is out.txt, cat out.txt. So this is or cat install.log. So this is the installation log, which will give the content. If I want to open that file, I need to use VI editor or Vim editor or GVim editor or gedit editor install.log. So this will open a text pad. Got it? It is like our notepad in our Windows. Clear? If I want to fetch the line numbers from 19 to, so this is very huge amount of code or log file which is generated, which is almost on 1800 plus lines. So if I want to fetch the line number from 18 somewhere to somewhere, okay, is it possible to control F? No. Whereas by using Python scripting, we can fetch it. Very easy. Next is MKDA. So in Windows, what we will do? If you want to create a folder, right click, new folder will do. But whereas in Linux, we need to MKDA test. No, let's see. I have created a folder. Okay, if I want to go to that folder, test, change directory. If I want to create a file, yeah. Okay. My notes.txt. I have created a file. Right. So to insert text, I need to press I or insert button. This is Vim editor. Right. Comments. This is Python class. Then escape colon W is for save, Q is for quit. In the left corner here, you are able to see. Here. Yes, sir. So this is for saving a file and quit the file. LS. I have created a inodes.txt file. Okay. This is how We create a directory or we create a file in Linux operating system. Any questions? Yeah. Please allow me 2 minutes. I'll fetch a glass of water and a cup of tea. Only 2 minutes. Okay. Okay, we'll continue. Yeah, slowly the participant count has been increased from 60 to 216. Okay, so next, if you have any questions in this slide related to list, change directory, create directory, make directory. Any questions? Should we proceed further? I will continue, right? Proceed, Sunil. Thank you. Next is cat. Cat is nothing but it will display the content of the file, but we cannot edit that content using cat command. If you want to do that, you need to use different syntax. So I'll show you. Cat file nodes. So this is, we have written, hi students, this is Python class. So just we can read what is the content. If you want to edit using VI editor or Vim editor or gedit, okay, I need to open with and save, close. Next, if I want to check the content, so I have added Hyderabad. So this is how we can just see the content, cat content. The next command is CP. CP is nothing but same like our Windows copy paste. CP minus R. What was the file name? Okay. File notes 01 dot yes. So if I list, there will be two files. Here, these are the, so this file I have copied to pynotes 01.txt. So if you want to check the contents of pynotes 01.txt, it will have same. That is nothing but copy paste. See. Clear? The next command is move. Move is nothing like cut and paste. I have a file. I create a new file. Yeah. 5002 dot. Okay. I'll insert. I'll write some. And save and print. So what I'm trying to do, I am trying to overwrite the file using move command. MV dy 003 with dy notes.txt. So do you want to overwrite? If yes, it will overwrite. If no, it will not overwrite. I am doing yes. Just to see the changes. Unless, okay. What will happen? Cat dy notes.txt. So it is giving different content. Earlier, py notes content was this. When I executed this command, the py notes content is modified. Clear, everyone? Did everyone follow? CP, move, CATCAM. Yes, sir. Thank you. And next is PWD. PW is nothing but present working directory. So where I am? I am under the root text test January 19. So this is my path. If we want to go for C, so what we'll do? We need to check this is my path. If you want to go for Linux, you just put PW. This is my path. Clear? Next is remove command. RM. RM. Do I want to delete that file? Yes. I have deleted that file. Once it is deleted through command line, it is not going to be in the trash also. It will directly go to delete. That file is no more available in the file system. Clear? So these are the powerful commands in Linux. rm, rm minus rf, mb. mb will completely overwrite. So be careful while using commands. Next is rmdir. Rmdir means it will delete the directory. So I have created a directory. Okay. rf minus rf py notes. Okay. If I put a star, whatever the files related to py notes star, everything gets deleted. Okay. There is nothing. And cd dot dot back one space back to the folder rmdir test. So there is no folder. Test underscore June 19. To check that ls no such file or folder. Clear? As we have deleted it rmdir. Still it is clear so far, everyone? So on Raspberry Pi, you need to use the Linux programming the same way. All these commands will work on Raspberry Pi. Next is chmod, chgroup. This is file permissions or folder permissions changing method. So in Windows, if you right click, we show more properties. Okay, security. I can edit the permissions. This is how we do in Windows. But whereas in case of Linux, I'll create a directory. Okay. So what are the permissions for June 19 py? LL So it is a directory. D stands for directory, the first D symbol. And when it is hyphen, it is a file. When it is D, it is a directory. So read, write, execute. This is for owner. This is for group. This is for others. There are three set of permissions. Whenever we create a file or folder or directory, it has owner permissions, group permissions, others permissions. Owner will have read, write, execute. If there are multiple users in the same group, they can also have read, write, execute. But others will have only read and execute. They will not have write permissions. And if you want to disable the write permissions for the group user, we need to ch mod minus write to this file dot ph. Then this will remove the write permissions to the group. Karimullah, what did you get about the execution of commands? What command? So I am giving you the introduction how to use Linux environment and some Linux commands. As this is a part of Python course. Okay. So when we go to Raspberry Pi, so directly if we use programming on the Raspberry Pi, we can write the program, we can run it. But what are the operations I am doing? You need to understand on the Raspberry Pi. I have created a program file. Okay. LED dot py. This file I didn't get the interface of Linux. That means Karimullah, what you want the interface of Linux? Can you elaborate more about your question? You are not understanding what I am typing in the command line. So this is Linux environment, Karimullah. This is command line. So where we want to work on commands, we go for Linux. If we want to work on commands in Windows, we will use command prompt. CMD. I am not aware about the command prompt in Windows. So we need to use DOS kind of commands in Windows. So whatever the commands, so to create a folder in Windows, what we will do? We will right click, we will create a new folder. But whereas in Linux, you have to use a command called mkdir new folder. If you do the list, ls. So I have created a new folder effect. And to check the permissions, ll. Then it will give the permissions of your new folder. If you want to change the permissions, chmod minus capital R 775. Okay. New underscore effect. Now you put LL. So what are the permissions? It has given directory. For the directory, owner has read write execute, group has read write execute, others has read and execute permissions. In previous, group doesn't have write permissions. What we have given? 7. 7 is nothing but 4 plus 2 plus 1. 4 permissions. 4 is the value for owner. 2 is the value for group. 1 is the value for others. If you are combining these two, it will give value of 7. That means read, write, execute. 7, 7, 7. This is full permissions. If you are giving 700, only owner can read and write and execute the file. Group and others, they cannot use these files or folders. If you are giving 755, this is the appropriate permissions. They can, owner can read, write, execute. Group can read and execute. Others can read and execute. Karimullah, did you get it? Hope you are able to follow. I know, I understand Linux is a new concept, but when you are going to Raspberry Pi, you need to use this kind of environment. Next is CH group. CH group is nothing but changing the group permissions for a file. Karimullah, is the Linux is like SQL? Linux and SQL both are different. SQL is a database. Linux is an operating system. Okay. To work with Linux, there are two kinds of modes. Either you can use GUI mode or you can use command line mode. Most of the time in industries, GUI mode is disabled and command line mode is enabled. Just to track the history of commands. So whatever the commands I have executed, if I put an history, all the commands list will come. That means there is no possibility of mistake. So if I do it in Windows, I can right click, I can delete also. And if I select, I can delete also. So it got disappeared. So there is no track. So if I want to restore it, I need to go to my trash recycle bin and I need to check for the file and I need to restore it. So, but whereas in the Linux, if I want to delete, I need to use rm command. And if I want to delete directory, rmdir. Clear, Karimullah? Next is ownership permissions and group permissions. If we want to change the group permissions and ownership permissions, we need to understand the user is which group. Cat etc group. So these all are the different group names. So the main user in this server is VLSI. Okay. So I'm using VLSI group user. So the group ID is 500. So if I want to change the group user, okay, so I need to use CH group. So currently I should not execute, that is a production server. We cannot do that. Next is CH own, the ownership of the file. Okay, I can change the owner of the file also by using CH own. Next is these all are simple resource commands like date. So it will give date and time and IST, GMT or anything with year and week of the day, day of the week. Sorry. Next is change the user login shell. So now I am in which SH? It is bin SH. Now I am changing the shell. Which CSH. So it will go to bin CHH shell. This is how I can switch the shells programming using command line. That is using Linux commands. I can change the shell using SH, CSH, PSH also. PSH is not installed, so it is not, it is telling command not found. Which Python also. I can change the shell to Python also. Next is password. To change the password of the user, this is a command. So I'll put that. So I have exit from C shell. Password. Okay. If I want to change the password for root, okay, I'm not doing that. So that password command is executed. Next is PS. PS is nothing but process. Top is how much CPU is utilized, and kill is the command used to terminate the process. So I'll tell you top. So these all are the users. They are running simulations, consuming CPU memory. Okay. Next is PS. These many processes are running. And next is if I want to kill the process ID. This is process ID. 2, 3, 4, 5, 7. Okay. This will kill by process. So I have put a comment, so I didn't kill it. This is how we can kill the process. But whereas in Windows, we have to go for a task manager. In task manager, we can see the CPU utilization, memory utilization, network, disk, what all CPUs are running, okay, what all processor running. So I can right click on this, I can do render task in Windows. But whereas in Linux, top command is used. Top command will give you the CPU, memory, and time for which the process is running, what process or what command is executed is running by which user. If you put quit, and if you wanted to note the process ID, fill the PID. This is number. So if you do this, that will kill the process. Clear so far, everyone? Dear students, did you understand? Yes, Raja. If you have any questions, please post it. Should we proceed further? Any questions? No. Next is user comments. So who all are the users logged into this server? Who? Who? Who am I? I am the root user. Okay. Next is the we also we call. So these are basic commands to know which user is logged in to which terminal. So Linux is a multi-user operating systems. Whereas Windows, if one user is logged in, another user cannot log into that machine. So these many amount of connections or users are working on the Linux server. So how many sessions? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sessions are running on this Linux machine. That means 5 users have logged in a different locations in a different situations. Okay, here you can see number of users and the load average. Load average is nothing but what is the average load of the CPU. The CPU is 0% utilized and RAM. Clear? Next is how to check the disk space. I want to understand RAM. What is the amount of RAM consumed and what is the amount of RAM utilized? Free hyphen G. G will give the size in GB. If I am just putting free, it will give the size in KBs and MBs. Clear? Next is if I want to check any file size or folder size, du minus and do ls first of all. Du minus sh 295. The folder size is 4 KB. That is how we calculate the size of a file or a folder. DF will give you the disk space. So the disk is completely somewhat 8 TB. So all the 8 TB is mounted to this partition. DF hyphen TH. So here it is giving in the KB format. TH will give you in the TB format. So here you can see the application size is 2 TB. Used is 1.7 TB. Design size is 2.3 TB. SIM data is 1.9 TB. And remaining folders are like this. Size, used, available, percentage, mounted, okay, type of file system. If you go for Windows file system, it is NTFS. If you go for Linux file system, it is ext4 and NFS. NFS is nothing but network file system. If we want to go for the compatibility of Linux and Windows, we use NFS or we use CIFS or we use FAT32 file system. Clear so far, everyone? Everyone is understood? So what we do in Windows, if you want to find some file or folder, we will do Control F. Once we do Control F here, we will be searching here. But whereas in Linux, we can find, locate, So this will find or locate the files and folders. If you don't know the file name or folder name, okay, star. Star means whichever file is having the June keyword, all files and folders listed. Find dot log star. No such file or folders. Okay, star dot logs. So whichever the files which are ending with dot logs, it has shown in the list. WC will give the word count in a file. And in Word document, we use sorting command to sort. And in Excel also we use sort to sort by roll number if it is a student list. Unique means it will display or print the file by removing the duplicate adjacent lines. Duplicate lines means if there is any line repeatedly typed in any file, okay, it will remove all those lines. And what are the unique lines? Those lines only will be displayed. So here we don't have that examples. Okay. So just for understanding clearly. Touch is a file for creating an empty file. Earlier what we did, we are creating using gedit, vim, vi or gwave. That are creating with a size and text. That files are open for edit. Here we use touch command that will create an empty file. I can show you that example. Okay, it has created the touch file. It will create, but there is no content. Cat, there is no content. If I want to open that file, we need to open using the editor. If you want to write anything, we can write anything. Save and finish. If you want to check anything, cat, so that is we typed in this file. So this is how we use touch command to create an empty file. Clear so far, everyone? Comparison, CMP. It will find the comparison between two files. And next is difference. It compare two files and differences. Next, how to run a Python code. So this will start tomorrow session. Okay. So any questions, please let me know. So far it's clear the class. So I will wait for another 2 minutes. If you have any questions, please let me know. Karimullah, whatever the commands I taught in the class, okay, you try to practice them using putty. Everyone can install putty in their laptops, which is lightweight Linux terminal. Harsha, so I am requesting all the users to practice these Linux commands, okay, by installing putty in Windows. Install putty in Windows OS. Practice Linux class commands. Harsha, is it okay? Yes, yes, you can get. So Mac doesn't require putty. Already you have terminal in Mac OS. I am not familiar with Mac OS. Okay, you can directly open the terminal and can just type the commands ls, pwd, mkdir, chone, chgrep. Srikanth Reddy, I didn't get your question. What is your question? Terminal like command application means? See, whatever the commands I am executing, this is a Linux server, which is installed with Red Hat. Okay. So here you can see, sir, I have Kali Linux. Is it okay to practice? Yes, Aditya, you can practice on Kali Linux. The same commands. So I am using here Red Hat 6. So today's topic, what we have covered is, I'll open the slides only. Linux and its commands, back to front. Okay. Who are the top industry companies, software companies or hardware companies? They are using Python. Okay. Industrial appliances where we are using Python in industry applications. Next is Python features, history of Python, about Python, outline of course content. Nani, 413. Is it clear? Please, Blackbucks team, prepare a Linux commands assignment for the students and share them for the home assignment. Thank you. Good night all.